So hello guys, welcome to another Cisco Networking Academy video, which is the summary for chapter 4. Oops, so I have clicked the wrong. So I have here the summary for chapter 4, which is the network access. So for chapter 4, we have physical layer protocols, we have network media, data link layer protocols, media access control in the summary. So first is the physical layer protocols. So in this first slide, we have here the fundamental principles of layer 1, which is the bandwidth. So we have here given the unit of bandwidth, which is the bits per second, kilobits per second, megabits per second, gigabits per second, and terabits per second. So this is just the capacity of the transmission, or how fast it will travel to the from one device to another. For example, the router to the end devices. So just like that. So here we have network media. Characteristics of copper media. So given here is the images for the pure digital signal, the interference signal, digital signal with interference, what the computer reads. So shown here is the digital signal, and once it has been merged with the interfered media signal, it will turn like this. And of course, what the computer will read is the last image. So copper cabling, the OTP table, uses the outer jacket, protects the copper wire from physical damage. Twisted pair protects the signal from interference. Color-coated plastic insulation electrically isolates wires from each other and identifies each pair. STP cable, it has the jacket, the braided or foil shield. Foil shields twisted pairs. So the conventional table has the outer jacket, braided copper shielding, the copper conductor, and the plastic insulation. So this is used for the antennas of some of the televisions. It's mainly used with that. So copper media safety. In the first picture, we have the separation of data electrical power cabling. Must comply with safety codes. So we must manage the separation of the data, the electrical power cabling, because it can interfere with one another. Second, cables must be connected correctly, so there must not be any flaw in connecting some of the cables in switches and routers. Installations must be inspected for damage, so there should be a schedule in inspection of installation of devices. Those equipment must be grounded correctly, so it must be set up in a very nice place and also in a more secure place to protect the devices from being manipulated or destroyed. So UTP cabling properties of UTP cabling. UTP cable does not use shielding to counter the effects of EMI and RFI. Instead, cable designers have discovered that they can limit the negative effect of crosstalk by cancellation, varying the number of twists per wire pair. So in UTP cabling, it doesn't use any shielding, so it just uses a simple cover for the wires, and also it it limits the negative effect by crosstalk by cancelling, and also the twisting the number of pairs in the main cable. Properties of fiber optic cabling. So fiber optic cabling is now being used in four types of industry. It is used for enterprise networks, fiber to the home and access networks, long-haul networks, submarine networks. So it is used for big networks. Also an organization for network accessing. So fiber media cable design. So this is the image for the design. So we have here the jacket, the gray one. Strengthening material is just the middle. The buffer or the dark gray one. The cladding, which is the white, which protects the core from the strengthening material. Also the jacket. So these are the types of fiber media. This is the single mode and the multi-mode. So as you can see here, the single mode has a small while the multi-mode has a larger capacity of electricity. And for the single mode, we have the small core. This dispersion suited for long distance applications. Uses lasers as light source. Commonly uses with campus backbones and systems for distances of several thousand meters. So for the multi-mode, larger core than signal mode cable allows greater dispersion, therefore loss of signal. Suited for loss distance applications but shorter than single mode. Uses LEDs as a light source, commonly used as the light uses lens as the light source. Commonly uses lands or distances of a couple hundred meters within a campus network. And so here, the better between these two fiber media is a single mode because the multi mode, yes, it allows the greater dispersion, but still it allows also greater loss of signal. So the single mode contains a small core, so it means that it can easily pass through the cable and or the main fiber media. So properties of wireless media. Wireless does have some areas of concern including the coverage area, interference, and security. So these three must be we must be aware of this three. We have the coverage area, which is the place that we will place our wireless media, and also the interference, whether if there is a interference present in the area, also the security of our devices. So data link layer protocols. So data link layer protocols. So we have there the data link layer. So it is second in the OSI model. So these are the data link sublayers. Here the network data link physical. And for data link we have the LLC sublayer and the MAC sublayer. And for the physical and the data link we have the Ethernet, the Wi-Fi, and the Bluetooth. Media access control. So in data link layer protocols covers how to format a frame for use on different media. Different protocols may be in use for different media. At each hop along the path, an intermediary device accepts frames from one medium, decapsulates the frame, and then forwards the package in a new frame. The headers of each frame are formatted for the specific media that it will cross. So of course, data link layer, it depends still on the media that has been used, and also different protocols will be used for different medias. So providing access to media, we have here two end users, and they are connected to one router using one switch. Data link layer is responsible for controlling the transfer of frames across the media. So data link layer will be responsible of the transmission of transfer of frames from the router towards the first end user towards the second user. Control the access to media, sharing the media. So here we have a representation of how devices share the media. So the first PC says we need rules for how to share the media. So we have here the shared media from the first desktop computer. Of course, they all said the same thing. They have their rules to follow in order for the frame to get to be received by them. Common physical one topology. So we have in the point-to-point topology, hub and spoke topology, and the full mesh topology. So this is used for the management of the devices in a physical view, physical point-to-point topology. So it connects two nodes in one network. Half and full duplex. So this half duplex is only available in for example, the server sends, the switch cannot still send if the server has already sent it to the switch, sent the frame to the switch. So they must take turns. So first the server will send, the switch will send and receive. So there's a slight delay with each, and they have duplex. So for full duplex, they can send and receive at the same time. Physical LAN topology. So we have here star topology, extended star topology, bus topology, and ring topology. Okay, so this tree is for wide area network topologies, but it's still a physical topology, and these are the other examples. So logical multi-access topology. So here we have 5 desktop computers. Inside here, I need to transmit to E. So the A will need to transmit to PC, to desktop E. So I check for other transmissions. Other transmissions are detected, so it will transmit. So ring topology. So the desktop A will send the frame for D here in this example. So it goes into the desktop B. So the B will ask if the frame is for the desktop B, but it says no, so it will move to the C, and it will also ask the same thing. So it will send no, and also once it is in the frame, it will read and it will notice that the frame is for him, so it will accept the frame. The frame. In a fragile environment, more controls are needed to ensure delivery. The header and trailer fields are larger as more control information is needed. In a protected environment, we can count on the frame arriving at its destination. Fewer controls are needed, resulting in smaller fields and smaller frames. So greater efforts need to ensure delivery equals higher overhead is equal to slower transmission rates. Less effort needed to ensure delivery, lower overhead, faster transmission rate. So the header we have here, the header has the start frame address and type link, data F, and also it is with the data FC as in the stop frame. Start frame address type length data in the trailer, which has the FCS and stop frame. So the frame check sequence, this field is used for error checking. The source calculates a number based on the frame's data and places the number in the FCS fields. The destination then recalculates the data to see if the FCS matches. If they don't match, the destination deletes the frame. Stop frame, this field is also I also call different trailer, is an optional field that is used when the length of the frame is not specified in the type or length field. It indicates then the frame when transmitted. So for the summary, the TCP or IP network access layer is the equivalent of the LSI data link layer, layer 2, and the physical layer, the layer 1. So the OSI physical layer provides the means to transport the bits to make up the data link layer frames across the network media. So it is said here that the OSI physical layer is responsible for transporting the bits to the data link layer frame to the network media that has been used. The physical layer standards address three functional areas: physical components, frame encoding technique, and signaling method. The physical layer standards address three functional areas. So the physical layer has the range of the areas, the physical components, also the technique of frame encoding and the signaling for the network. So using the proper media is an important part of network communications. Without the proper physical connection, either wired or wireless communications between any two devices will not occur. Wired communication consists of copper media and fiber cable. There are three main types of copper media used in networking: a shielded twisted pair, and coaxial cable. UTP cable is the most common copper networking media. So the continuation. Optical fiber cable has become very popular for interconnecting infrastructure network devices. It permits the transmission of data over longer distances and at higher bandwidth data rates than any other networking media. Wireless media carry electromagnetic signals that represent the binary digits of data communication using radio or microwave frequencies. The data link layer is responsible for the exchange of frames between the nodes over a physical network media. It allows the upper layers to access the media and controls how the data is replaced and received in the media. Among different implementations of the data link layer protocols, there are different methods of controlling access to the media. These media access control techniques define if and how the nodes are shared the media. The actual media access control method used depends on the topology and media sharing. Neither the topologies can be physical or logical. Ones are commonly interconnected using the point-to-point hub and spoke or mesh visual topologies. In shared media LANs and devices can be interconnected using star bustering and extended star hybrid physical topologies. So these physical topologies are used for the physical setup of the local area networks and other types of networks out there. And all data link layer protocols encapsulate the layer 3 PDU within the data field of the frame. However, the structure of the frame and the fields contained in the header and trailer vary according to the protocol. And that's it for my chapter 4 summary, and thank you for watching, and stay tuned for my other videos, and goodbye.